What's going on, guys? It's your boy Maharos, and we're back with another video. Wow, it's been a long time, and we're here to give you guys a normal update of what's happening across the market. And just starting from Bitcoin, guys, it's just nothing too crazy, right? Again, we have this 3 week demand zone here that has turned into a supply zone. And if you guys have been following me here on Twitter, guys, it shouldn't really have shocked you guys, simply because I shared a chart like this a little while back in May 6th. As you can see here, basically this is a 3 week demand zone, and I had this green box shaded because it is a 1 week demand zone, right? And at the time, Bitcoin itself was also a 3 week demand zone, meaning that this is a level where it would either act as a support or resistance. You can clearly see that 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks took place at this level before finally seeing it break down, and clearly break down with a lot of volume. But the good thing is that it got bought up really fast, really quickly, and we saw this level act as a support. And now again, we're back at this level. This is no longer a demand zone, but it's a supply zone. So I'm just going to turn this box into gray because we are trading in that box. So right now it's not really clear to me that it's a resistance. It's not clear to me that it's a support. But again, we saw this major wick take place. So again, will this resolve, and was that the end of the correction? That I'm unclear, right? But again, if I had to guess, I do believe that this correction that we've watched, literally starting all the way back from May, guys, or I said May, March, it's been about a half of a year, right? So, it wouldn't shock me if this continues to go sideways here for like another month, even. But this is a correction that we saw, and a lot of people have gotten shaken out. A lot of people are pretty much impatient looking at this move here because, again, we want to see the market go up. We came off of a crazy high. Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Everybody's excited. You're seeing the ETF news across Bitcoin, Ethereum, and potentially the next coins running up after them. So, it's not really anything too crazy, and I did think we were going to get a bigger run, but this is clearly proof that a lot of times the news that we get is not really what we think it is. And I want you to keep that in mind, especially as we get ready for this leg up, guys, because Bitcoin right now, it's hovering at this level. I do expect a new all-time high coming up here. And if I had to look at this and just put a quick wave count, I mean, this to me is very, very clear that we're getting ready to see one last wave up without even getting very complicated, right? You have basically a complex correction or a simple correction here, right? This is your 3 wave move. And this looks a little more complicated, right? Because again, in every single 5 wave move to the upside, you will have a simple correction and then a complex correction. Clearly, this has been more complex. It has been, longer, or actually just about the same in duration, right? I mean, if we look at this all the way from, the beginning to the end, I mean, it's actually almost the same exact thing. So, look at that, 154 versus 161. I mean, it's very close. And so, again, I do believe that this next wave up is going to be very, very fun to watch. But what are the targets? And, guys, in Elliott Wave, basically three out of the 2 waves. What the hell am I saying? I can't even talk. 2 out of 3 waves are equal in distance. So what that means is from the low to the high, either wave 1 is going to be the impulse level for a target, or wave 3 is going to be another extended wave where we see a target of 130K. My first opinion and gut tells me that we're going to see probably like this wave 1 being mimicked, simply because, dominance would be insane and through the roof for this 130 to get hit. And it makes more sense that we get a slow, choppy grind to the upside, the same way that we got over here back in 2021 for the final move up, as the rest of the market runs to the upside. Because again, if you look at dominance, right, this is an insane chart, right? I didn't expect dominance to start going this high, but when it does start falling, pretty much alt will take the lead. And during this time when this started happening, guys, this was during the peak of the bull run for Bitcoin, right? Like, Bitcoin hit 69K at this area, right? Even though dominance falls, the rest of the market was going up simply because, the altcoins have more of a favor, basically, right? People want to buy more altcoins because they have more ROI, and the money's rotating out of Bitcoin. Doesn't mean it's not going to go back into Bitcoin. Doesn't mean Bitcoin can't hit 100K, 90K. It just basically indicates that we're gonna see like a smaller run for Bitcoin, even though it can hit all time highs. It's probably more likely that we see 90 like 94K, 95K. But my first target is again going to be 92K. That is my target, guys. 92K is the level that I'm looking at. And it's less likely that we get an extended fifth wave. But again, we can start seeing signs of that if we do get a nice, simple breakout fast enough with a lot of volume, kind of indicating there's a strength behind the move, and then continuing to monitor that week over week, because again, things do get truncated. Volume and strength, it does disappear over time. So it is very important to just watch these levels, stay patient, and then act upon that, right? Because again, market right now is boring. It is choppy. It is sideways. Nobody is looking at anything, but the liquidity will return, guys. I mean, I've been watching the market for over 8 years now, and it's just the same shit over and over again. Nothing changes. It's just the people are getting impatient, or they get, too greedy, whatever the case may be. It's just a game of patience right now, right? So that's pretty much my idea for Bitcoin. I mean, if we do get back down to this low, this is the area of buying. But for now, we are fighting against this 3-week supply zone, because it is currently acting as a resistance. But this looks like to me another correction in the book before we start going higher here to end the cycle sometime in, who knows, January of 2025, right? I mean, that's very, very possible. Additionally, XRP. I mean, guys, this is insane, right? Because again, we have a lot of volatility shrinking, and we have the chart overall staying above the most important level that I've marked out for you guys and spoke to you guys about many, many times. And right now, the RSI looks very, very good. So it is the perfect reason for XRP now to start rising, for XRP to now start going into a new bull run, into new all-time highs. Now, what are my targets for XRP? I mean, guys, I don't really have really like easy targets in terms of where it can go to. But if you were to use a fib-based target, right, like just a fib-base, a 1618 is the first target, which is around 5.23, so $5.23. And then if it goes crazy, I think it can hit all the way up to $13.69. So we'll see what happens. I do think that all-time highs are on the table, and it definitely will play out over time. But right now, it's just a game of patience, a game of just waiting it out and seeing when this will happen. Because again, like nobody thought this would happen. Nobody thought XRP would be, held hostage by the SEC. And then Ripple finally winning the lawsuit, bringing on a stablecoin onto the XRP ledger, bringing in more adoption, is going to be extremely important, extremely fun to watch. So again, this is just going to be a matter of, resilience, if you want to call it that, right? Just waiting it out, because again, this is a pressure cooker. This will blow up, and at the end of the day, you cannot have this kind of volatility without some sort of explosion taking place. And if you had to guess, my opinion is that the explosion is going to be to the upside, right? Because again, even if you hate XRP, the chart itself is very, very clear that something big is going to happen, right? Whether it's good or bad, you have to understand that something big is on the cusp of happening. So that's why I'm watching XRP, because I'm watching this very, very closely, because again, it's something that I've held for, over 6 years, or not 6 years. Yeah, 6 years almost, right? I got into this market in 2017, and I bought it then. So actually, it's been more than 6 years. What am I even saying? Like 7.5. And basically, I talked about how XRP is not a security. I tweeted it back then, literally like 2 or 3 days after the lawsuit. A lot of people were scared. A lot of people were worried. But guess what? Nothing has happened. I was completely correct. And guess what? Here we are. The final icing on the cake is waiting to happen. I hope that it goes up to new all-time highs. I am trading against that, and I've betted on that. So we'll see what happens. Ethereum had the ETF approved, breaking down. Not a good chart here. I do believe that this is a complex correction. My targets remain unknown, but it's going to require patience. It's going to require some time here. I do think that after some time here, we'll start rising back up, but this might pull an XRP where it kind of gets close to all-time highs and just continues to break down. So we'll see what happens, because the Solana took a lot of the activity from Ethereum. So we'll have to see what happens. And right now, stablecoin dominance has gone way past what I expected. So again, this is going to be very fun to watch. At the same time, it's just a game of waiting it out, seeing how this will transition, because This was very, very nice breakdown. Initially, we saw a correction, then a bigger breakdown. And this right now is the same thing that we're seeing across the board, right? This to me is like a channel that is going to continue, right? So like if you were to look at this like inverted, so let me turn this upside down. This looks like it's going to pump. Like it's going to go to new all-time highs kind of thing, right? So like this is going to go up soon. And I do believe that when this starts finally breaking down, you know, it will be amazing. So basically we want to see dominance fall for stable coins, because what that means is people are selling their stable coins, buying crypto, and crypto will continue to go up, which is why we're watching for total, right? Total is basically mimicking Bitcoin very perfectly. And, you know, we're probably going to see it start breaking to the upside. And so it requires time and patience and, you know, just remaining calm. That's really all it is at the end of the day, guys. There's nothing, like I could continue going on and on with the update, but this video is already 11 minutes and there's not a lot of people who made it this far in a video because people's attention spans are just fried. But the point is, at the end of the day, you know, when we look at this chart and we look at crypto as a whole, this is just a correction. So was this as a correction. And we've seen these corrections time and time again, but we're sitting in this range. We're going to break out. And who knows how high we even go. But I do believe 5 trillion or something shy of 5 trillion is on the table. And that can very easily happen, guys. So it's a matter of just staying patient and just watching the market. But at the same time, guys, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Like, right, whatever decision is best for you might not be best for someone else. But at the end of the day, if you're just dollar cost averaging and just waiting for, you know, proper exits and entries, you're gonna like pretty much just beat the most on the market, right? Like most people are just buying and selling left and right when they should just be buying and holding, right? Like as I've traded more and more, like the thing is that my strategy has become more simpler. I'm not more complicated. I just wait and wait for my alerts to go off. If my alerts go off, I buy more, or I just wait until it's time to sell. And right now is not a time to sell, guys. I mean, like if anything, you should be buying, getting ready for this move up here, and then selling then, right? You want to be basically ahead of the market. And a prime example of that, guys, is literally PayPal, right? So like I've been talking about PayPal since January of 2024, okay? Right now we're in fucking August. Half of the people in this world cannot hold a trade past 2 days, okay? But when we look at PayPal and we look at how long I've been holding this for, I mean, all the way back since January 2024. So like the price was like sub $50 at this point, right? And we've gone sideways this whole entire time, but we are finally starting to break out. So all I've been doing is just buying for months on end, and the prices continue to chop sideways, and now we're finally getting a breakout. So on my entry, I'm up on an average of what? You know, like 30%, or well, I'm sorry, 20%. And when it hits my target, I'll be up 60%. You know, sometimes a trade like that, that's just very clean, very patient, and you're seeing it play out over time, is all you really need, right? Like one big trade a year is all you need sometimes. But more so, the big trade aside, like it's about having discipline, it's about having patience, it's about understanding the condition of the market more importantly, right? Because at the end of the day, you're compounding these trades, you're compounding these wins, and you know, that's really the name of the game. So like, again, this is just a correction that we're seeing across the market. I do believe over time, this is going to start running to the upside, and that will be your time to sell. Not when everybody is going crazy about, oh, you know, the market is hot right now, I should buy in. This is the time that people made money, right? Like, look at PayPal, prime example. This is the place where people accumulated, right? This is the place. And when it goes to 100, the people who bought down here will be selling up here, guys. And the people who buy up here will most likely be selling down here because, again, people who are rushing into positions, who are buying, you know, things too late, when they see the price fall or they see any volatility, they get shaken out, right? And rightfully so, because again, you should not be impulse buying anything without a plan, without proper execution, and without having some sort of basis on, you know, any entries or exits you have. So, you know, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the bottom of the channel, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Huddle, huddle, huddle. Peace.